me. Come on, somebody. I almost sounded like a testimony like that. Let you know, let you know, let you know. He'll make it all right. Y'all better get to know that God. I said y'all better get to know that God. That God that'll make everything all right. Feel like praising God in this place. Anybody feel like praising? Guess I'm the only one. I'll say anybody feel like giving God some praise. If God ever done anything in your life, you ought to stand up for your feet and give God some praise. There go my saints. I said, there go my saints. There go my worshiper. There go my overcomer. There go the victory. Shout in his name. I don't know what you came to do, but I come to lift up the name of Jesus. I didn't come to preach. I got the day off. I come to hear a word, but I just got to give God praise. I got history with God. I say I got history with God. I'm not telling you something I heard. I'm not telling you something I see. I'm telling you something I know, that God will make everything all right. Amen. Amen. All my fathers, please stand. All my fathers, please stand. Amen. All these strong black men. Come on, y'all can do better than that. See, when Mother's Day came, y'all was praying to God. When the Father's Day came, y'all was praying God for some strong black men. Amen. Amen. Don't you know God started up? When the men stand up, he blesses the house. That's why you got to praise God for the men. I said, God started up that when the man stands up, he blesses the house. Amen, amen. If you had a strong father figure in your house, you ought to give God praise. Even if you didn't have a strong father figure in the house, your spiritual father took care of you. Amen, amen. We also are not only celebrating our men on today, on Father's Day. We bless you. We are also celebrating Juneteenth. Amen, amen. We are celebrating Juneteenth on today. Those who don't understand what Juneteenth is, it's Juneteenth 1865. It was the last free slave that got the word that they was free. Sometimes you can be free and don't get the word that you're free. Amen, amen. But we thank God for Juneteenth also. Amen, amen. There's a couple of announcements on the day. This Saturday, we are having the leadership conference at Lake Elam Missionary Baptist Church. Also, we are in prayer with Sister Jackson as the loss of her auntie. Amen. We are praying with her that she's going to lay rest her auntie this Saturday, the time to be announced on this Saturday. But we'll just keep the family in prayer. And we know prayer does a lot of things. Prayer changes things. Prayer strengthens people. Prayer gives comfort to the comfortless. Amen. So we want to show our support on this family. They grieve the loss of their loved one. Amen. Don't forget about Wednesday night Bible study. We are continuing in our series. It's getting good, ain't it, Sister Jenny? I got a witness right there. If y'all don't understand what we are talking about in Bible study, you ought to come. There is a word from God. We are continuing in our series on walking in the righteousness of Christ. Amen, amen, amen. don't forget about Sunday school. Come to Sunday school. Sunday school is good too, ain't it right, brothers? Brother Gaines, Deacon Gaines, I got a witness from the Bible study and Sunday school. Look, today I have a special guest in the house. Told you last time when I am on call on my job. I don't think it's right to put together half a sermon, trying to put together a sermon when I've been working all week and I can get called in the middle of a sermon. I'm here today, but I have Minister McQueen here who's going to stand and give a word on today. Amen. He is no stranger to this house. He's preached here before. I think he come out of Mama Room preaching, the way he preached sometimes. His parents are here, just waving their hand. And I know his lovely wife is here, she can wave her hand. The kids are here. Amen. We went to, I think, my brother, Minister McQueen, and answering the call to come over and preach the word of the day. Amen. I'm going to ask for another selection from our choir, and then I'll come back with our tithes and our offering. Amen.
Just give God a hand clap of praise. Come on. Amen. There is a name that I love to hear. I love to sing His praise. It sounds like music in my ear. The sweet name. I know. Can I sing it one more time this morning? There is a name, my Lord, that I love to hear. I love to sing His praise. It sounds like music in my ear. The sweet name. I know. Everybody let me sing. Oh, 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 come on. How I love you. All the time, come on, come on. Oh, how I love you.
time. It's giving time. Amen, amen, amen. It's giving time. It is giving time. Amen. We want to be a church with not just a church that's having church on Sunday, but we want to be a church where we have a divine impact on the community. We don't just want to meet on Sunday and not have an impact on Monday. It's a bad church who only has church on Sunday and cannot impact the community on Monday. One of the ways we're going to be able to impact the community on Monday is we got to be able to sow into our community around us. And we want to be able to do some things, and we want to be able to go out into the community. And the way we're going to be able to do that thing, do some of those things, we're going to have to be able to be faithful in our tithes and in our offering. Because we already know a giving church is a blessed church. Amen. We please rise and follow the direction of our usher. God, we ask that you bless this seed so we can make a divine impact on our communities. God, bless those that gave, those that didn't have the means to give. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Look, I thank the Holy Spirit for reminding me. There is somebody in this place who tomorrow is going to be celebrating their 82nd birthday. Amen. Deacon Mays is going to be celebrating a birthday. Come on. Give a big clap of praise for our very own Deacon Mays. 83rd. Sorry, I shortchanged him 1 year. 83rd. Get that right, Pastor. 83 years of birthday. Amen. We bless you. Deacon Mays, a faithful deacon of this church. When he can't come, you best believe he is going to be here. So we thank you for your faithfulness, and we ask God to shower a blessing upon your life. Look, I'm going to get out of the way because I know y'all come to hear a word. Amen. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. The choir no need to sing another song. I want to hear what this brother got to say. Because I need a word from God. Don't y'all know your pastor need a word too? Amen. I need a word from the Lord. Amen. So we're going to ask him to come in his own way and give you what God has given me. Amen. Minister Frank McQueen Jr. Amen.
Let us give God a hand clap of praise. Anybody happy to be in the house of the Lord this morning? Oh, don't fool me now. Are you happy to be here? I want to celebrate the fathers on today. Celebrate my father on today. A man's presence can make all the difference. If they just If most of the people just understood that you just being there is more than anything. You can send all the money that you want. You can talk on the phone to them as much as you want to. But as long as you're not there, you can't make an impact. But when you spend time with them, they'll know just who you are. So we want to thank God today for the fathers. There is a word today. Y'all know I'm not going to hold you long. But there is a word that must go forth. It is your custom if you would stand for the reading of God's word. It will be coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 7 until I feel like stopping. When you got it, say amen. I'll be reading from the English Standard Version. It reads like this. So to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given to me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from being conceited. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. I can heal with your prayers and petitions. I'd like to tag this text, the necessity of the thorn. The necessity of the thorn. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, thorns are necessary. Author Anthony St. Martin is quoted as saying that when we let go of what we think is best for us, then we are able to receive what we really need. That quote suggests to us, ladies and gentlemen, that sometimes we hold a great desire for things that are not really good for us. And it is not until we let go of those things that we can actually discover what it is that we truly need. In other words, we as people don't actually know what's best for us. We really don't know or understand what it is that we truly need. And that is because desires get in the way. Desires can confuse us. It is not until some authority figure or someone that cares for us comes in and corrects us and changes our mindset to make us understand that the thing you want really bad, you need to let it go. The thing that you desire so much will not benefit you at all. And this is a daily struggle that I deal with being a parent. One of the hardest yet most rewarding things to experience in life is parenthood. It is rewarding because you get to see something that you, God, and your significant other had a hand in making. You get to see them grow up and mature from adolescence to adulthood. But on the other hand, it is hard because it is a daily struggle of trying to balance giving your kids what you did not have, while at the same time trying to give them what you did have. Because everybody wants to protect their children from the world. But in order for them to mature into functioning adults, they actually have to experience the world. We don't want our children to endure any struggles, but they have to endure some struggles if they're going to be able to develop good character. We don't want them to have to work their fingers to the bone, but we do want them to know that there is value in hard work. It is a balance between trying to give them what you did not have, while at the same time trying to give them what you did have. It's a constant battle between giving them what they want and giving them what they actually need. And one event that is always entertaining in my household is the discussion that we have about what are we going to have for dinner. It's entertaining because every single day, 7 days out of the week, 360 days out of the year, my kids desire to eat fast food. My kids want to eat out every single day. McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, American Deli, Zaxby's. It does not matter. They want to eat fast food every day. It has gotten to the point to where if I walk into the house with grocery bags, I have to deal with deep sighs. I have to deal with complaining. I have to deal with, oh my God, Daddy, are you cooking again? Before you look at me acting here with judgmental eyes, no, it's not because I can't cook. Don't get it twisted, acting here. I know my way around the kitchen. I know you trying to probably suggest in your mind that the reason that McQueen that they always want to eat out is because you can't cook. But I can't tell you that that's not it. Because when it comes to cooking, I know what I'm doing. When it comes to cooking, I got some skills. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but toot. Because when it comes to cooking, I know what I'm doing. Whatever you desire, just holler at your boy and I can get it done. Look here, my fried cabbage is on point. My steak marsala is mouth-watering, and my ribs are to die for. It's not because they don't like my cooking, because Brother Minister can cook. But let me keep it 100 with y'all real quick and let you know what the real reason is that my kids always want to eat out. Truth be told, acting here, my kids want to eat out all the time because my kids do not like vegetables. When I cook, I try to make well-balanced meals. Well-balanced meals with a meat, a starch, and a vegetable. But my kids, they're not feeling the vegetable part. So I asked them, one day, because, I'm inquisitive. I asked them, I say, why y'all don't like vegetables? Their response to me is, Daddy, we don't like vegetables because vegetables are nasty. And me, being father, I use this as teaching moment. Explain to them that I understand that you don't like the way that the vegetables taste. But in reality, I'm not giving you the vegetables because they taste good. In reality, I'm giving you the vegetables because they are good for you. Tell them that the vegetables contain nutrients and vitamins that are necessary for you to grow up big and strong. So the very thing that you don't like is the very thing that's making you better. The same thing that is nasty and unpleasant is the same thing that is working for your good. I wish I had some help in here this morning. And I know you might not want it, but as your father, I'm giving it to you because I know you need it. And ladies and gentlemen, I came to tell you that the same way I value my kids' needs, it's the same way your Father in heaven values yours. So since he cares for your needs, there are going to be situations in your life that you have to go through and they're not going to taste good. There are going to be situations in your life that are not going to be pleasant. There are going to be situations in your life that may be uncomfortable, but you're just going to have to deal with it because the very thing that you don't like is the very thing that's making you better. And since God is in the business of making you better, he can't always give you what you want. He also has to give you what you need, even if you don't like it. And Paul tells us just this in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7. He says, a thorn was given to me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan harass me. Paul, the tent maker from Tarsus. Paul, the man that Jesus met on Damascus. Paul, the man that wrote over half of the New Testament. Paul, who is a crusader for Christ. That Paul said he was given a thorn in the flesh. He said that is a messenger for Satan sent to harass me. In the King James, it says to buffet me, which literally means to punch me over and over and over again. He's saying God is allowing me to go through a difficult situation. He's saying God is allowing me to go through something awful. And truth be told, we all have been there. We all have some thorns. And my thorn may not be your thorn, but we all have to deal with some tough situations. We all have to go through some things. And what is the first thing that we do when we're going through? Who is the first person that we blame when we're going through? You know who it is. That's right. We blame the devil. We say, child, the devil is busy. But let me mess with your theology real quick. What if I told you that the thing that you're going through, the thing that is nagging you, that thing that you are struggling with is not in fact the devil, but it's actually God's hand on you, working on you, molding you, and preparing you to be used by him. Because sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, the very evidence that God's hand is on your life is your struggle. Because the same thing that you don't like is the same thing that's making you better. Thorns in your life are necessary. I know it may be hard to comprehend. I know it may be difficult to understand. But God in his sovereignty knows exactly what we need, when we need it, and how we need it, so that we can become who he needs us to be. It's not always going to feel good. It's not always going to be pleasant. But whatever he allows to go on in your life, it has purpose. The thorns in your life are necessary. Look at your neighbor and tell them the thorns are necessary. That's really all I can say. Pretty much my whole sermon. But I can't leave you yet. You know, can't leave you without giving you some reasons why the thorn is necessary. I'll give you 3 reasons. Thorn is necessary. You can go on to the crib and something to eat. Right? Reason number 1. Thorn is necessary. Number 1, the thorn abolishes arrogance.
Yes, sir.
Paul says in verse 7, so to keep me from being conceited, because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given to me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me, here it is, from becoming conceited. Paul is saying, so I don't become conceited, so I don't become arrogant. I was given thorn. Well, that statement begs for me to ask a question, so I asked the question. I said, why Paul, why would he be conceited? What's the reason Mr. Paul has to be arrogant? Well, here it is. Reason number 1 is cultural influence. Because the church at Corinth at this time was full of people who were conceited. It was full of what they call false prophets. Walking around bragging about their accomplishments and bragging about their resumes as if they were self-made. And it would have been easy for Paul to get caught up in that behavior. You know why it would be easy for him to get caught up in that behavior? Because let's be honest, that's a lot of our problem. We are caught up with what the culture has going on. Caught up in doing what everyone else is doing. And truth be told, the world would be better off if people just understood the value of staying in your own lane. Being happy and being satisfied with being your own authentic self. Because who God created you, we have to be who God created us to be. Instead, you want to be like somebody else. I'll put it to you like this. Tiger Woods could never be Tiger Woods if he invested his time and energy trying to shoot threes like Steph Curry. God made you the way you are for a reason, so stay in your lane. Look at your neighbor and tell him, stay in your lane. Paul had to be arrogant. Paul had a reason to be arrogant because of his revelation. Verse 7 says, so to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given to me. This revelation Paul is talking about is the revelation Paul speaks on in verses 1 through 6, where he says he was called up to paradise. He was called up to the dwelling place of God. Paul says he got to see heaven. And it was amazing. And I don't know about you, but that's some reason to be arrogant. If you get to see heaven, you have a reason to be arrogant. Paul says he can't even tell us the great things that he has witnessed. And he says, since I got to witness that, and also so I don't become like the culture, I was given a thorn. This is what he's saying. He gave me a thorn to prevent me from becoming arrogant about the blessings that God gave. Paul is saying God gifted me and God afflicted me. He's saying that the same hand that the blessing came from is the same hand that the thorn came from. He gave me, God gave me both sides of the coin so that I never forget who is the giver of my gift. Because let's be honest, when some of us get gifted, some of us get blessed, we forget about God like he ain't the one that blessed us to be in the position that we are in the first place. We get arrogant like it was our hard work, like it was our determination, like it was our sacrifices that allowed us to elevate. But in reality, it was all God. Arrogance said, I did it on my own. But humbleness says, if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, I don't know where I would be. The thorn gets rid of arrogance. Reason number 2, the thorn is necessary. Is the thorn gives us a gratitude for grace. The thorn gives us a gratitude for grace. Paul says in verse 8, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, listen what he said. He said, my grace is sufficient for you. Paul says, I prayed to the Lord 3 times to take this thorn out of my life. And I just want y'all to know up in here acting healed that Paul did exactly what he was supposed to do in the situation. He prayed to God fervently about his problem. But to Paul's surprise, God did not give him the answer that he wanted. Because, church, God has more answers than yes. Even though that's the only answer we want to hear.
All right.
Let me break it down like this. See, when you come through a traffic light, sometimes it's green. And that's the traffic control tower telling you to come on through. Sometimes God green lights our prayers. Sometimes he says, yes, your request aligns with my will and you can have what your heart desires. Sometimes God green lights our prayers. Then again, sometimes you get up to the light and the light is yellow. And I know some of y'all don't know what that means. Yellow means slow down. Sometimes God yellow lights our prayers. He tells us, wait, hold on. Either you're not ready for it or it's not ready for you. But wait a little while and I'm going to give it to you, but just not yet. Oh, but every now and then. You pull up to the traffic light. The traffic light is red. Red means stop. Don't move. Don't go through. Sometimes God red lights your prayers. And sometimes God's answer is no. And I'm just here to tell you that you got to learn how to live with God's no's. Because if Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane prayed to God to be delivered from Calvary, and God says no, what makes you so holy? What makes you so good that you believe that God always has to tell you yes? Sometimes God says no. And when you mature in faith, you will learn to appreciate God's no. You will learn to appreciate God's red light. Can I tell you what happened when you come to the red light? So what happens when you come to the red light? What happens is a traffic control signal has been sent to the light to make you stop. Because there is some cross traffic in front of you. And if you proceed into that traffic, you will be destroyed by something that you can't even see right now. And I'm so glad that we serve a God that can see what's ahead and can prevent us from crashing. Look at your neighbor and tell them there is a blessing in the no. Paul says God gave me a no, but he did give me an answer. He said that my grace is sufficient. So what he's saying is, I might be saying no to this request. I might be saying no to this prayer. But take a look back over your life and see all the yeses that I already blessed you with. See all the hell that I already kept you out of. Can I tell you something? If he don't do anything else, he's already done it. Because in reality, you should be dead, sleeping in your grave. But look at you up in here. You're looking cute. You're smelling good. You got all your teeth. He's already done enough. His grace is sufficient. I feel like preaching. I got one more thing. Got one more reason. I'm gone, y'all. Third reason that the thorn in our life is necessary is the thorn shows us the source of our strength. Paul says in the B clause of verse 9 that he will gladly boast in his weaknesses so that Christ's power may rest upon him. Paul is reiterating what he said in the first 6 verses of the chapter, which is, if I'm going to boast, I'm not going to boast about my strengths. I'm going to boast about my weaknesses. Paul is saying, instead of bragging about my highs, I prefer to brag about my lows. And this kind of messed me up when I was reading it, because we live in a society where everyone wants to boast and brag about every high moment that they have. Oh, but when they at a low moment, you can't find them nowhere. When they got a high moment, we got to put it on Facebook. We have to put it on Instagram. We have to tell the world about every high moment. But we want to run and hide and never want anybody to see any of our weaknesses. Wow. But Paul says, I'm going to brag about my weaknesses. But I want to suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, that Paul didn't want to brag about his highs. Here it is, church. He didn't want to brag about his highs because sometimes your highest self is not your best self. Sometimes the higher you are in the world, the further you are from God. And if we be honest today, the closest that you ever were to God was at the lowest places in your life. It was at the low times in your life that you witnessed the power of God. So Paul is saying, I'm not going to brag about what I've seen. I'm not going to brag about my experiences. I'm not going to brag about my strengths. But what I am going to do is I'm going to brag about my weaknesses. I'm going to brag loads. I'm gonna brag about my loads. And the reason I'm gonna brag about these things is because that's where I encountered the power of God. Because ladies and gentlemen, your greatest testimony is not at your mountaintop. Your greatest testimony is right there in your valley. When you were sick in your body, didn't know how you was gonna make it. Doctors gave up on you, but there was the Lord. You lost your job, didn't know how you was gonna pay your bills, but there was the Lord. When I was depressed in my thinking about taking my own life, there was the Lord. When you couldn't put that bottle down, almost drunk yourself to death, there was the Lord. COVID running through the nation, killing people left and right. Oh, but here I am. Gas prices are through the roof, but here I am. I still got a roof over my head. My blood still running warm in my veins. I still got my people. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, if it had not been, if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, I don't know where I might be. Anybody in here can testify that the Lord brought me from a mighty long way. You should have seen me a couple years ago. I may not have everything I want right now, but thanks be to God, I have everything I need. So you can be not dismayed. Whatever betide, God will take care of you. If you know He will, stand up on your feet and wave your little chocolate hand and say, oh Lord, you've been good to me. If you know You've been good,
I'd have never found His grace. He said something profound. I hope y'all didn't miss it. He said the same hand that gave the gift gave the thorn. He said the same hand that gave the gift gave the thorn. But the thorn was for a purpose. Because of the thorn, you found grace. Because of the thorn, you found power. For because of the thorn, you found Jesus. Amen, amen. Did that young man preach? Amen, amen. That means one don't understand the power of Christ. You've been dealing with a thorn. You don't understand how you're going to make it. But the scripture said, He said in the text, He said, my grace is sufficient. His grace is His blood. His grace is His Son that died upon the cross. And if you put your hands in the man named Jesus, He will make everything all right. Amen. Would it be one? Maybe you're looking for a church home. This is a good place to turn. Those that are with us online, we want us to reach out to you. Put your name in the comments. We'll get with you in prayer. Amen. Amen. Thank you, deacons. Thank you, deacons. glad I heed God's word. No, you're not preaching today. We're going to let Frank preach today. Amen. Come on, give Mr. McQueen a hand clap of praise. I think we ought to invite him back at some point, sometime. I think I got you on schedule. Amen. We ought to invite him back. Amen. Amen. There be none will. Please stand. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, this door is for your good. Amen. God rest. We pray that you keep us and guide us, God, through this day. God, we thank you for the thorn that was given in our flesh. Because of the thorn, we found your grace. God, we ask